welcome to the Runway podcast. I'm your host, Gina Madonsela, and today is another episode of the Runway podcast. We have got everything business, everything lifestyle, and everything that we think you will need to be on a runway. Today, we have got an exciting guest, like we always do, right? And we've got Tepiso Malema. He is a formidable young man. He is the founder of Gamers Territory, as well as Tepiso Speaks. There's a lot to know about this gentleman. Stick around. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with as many people that you think could enjoy this content. And it's a labor of love, really. So we're excited. We are broadcasting live from Maano Media Studios in Johannesburg. So let us welcome Tepiso Malema to the podcast. Hi, Tepiso. Bo, 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 bo. Yes. Bo, 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 bo. Right?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah. You must be great. You must be great. Right?
Yeah. And hello to the viewers.
Yeah.
On the runway. We're on the runway.
We're on a runway, baby. We're on a runway.
Yeah.
So basically, Tepiso, I always want to start off the podcast by just laying the background for the audience, just so they understand, kind of who the guest is and things like that. When I first met you, it was at one of our small business runway expos in Alexandra. So you came through, go Alexi, you came with a friend, you came with an Uber. And then the second time we met, I actually did an interview with you. I interviewed you, right, on LXFM. And then months or weeks went by, and then we kind of had conversations. You were trying to start East Galapreneurship, which I was like, okay, I'm on board. I must give it to you. You had a whole presentation together. I'm like, hey, man, now this young man, is this guy 19, guys? Hey, man, I was so shocked. And then I was like, listen, I'm on board. I love what you're doing. I'm definitely on board for this Galapreneurship. And then somehow, I saw Galapreneurship on social media. Right? You had a whole launch on social media. I was not invited. I was like, what's going on with this guy? We had agreed. I was on board. I was one of your mentors or your, you know what I mean? And then you did that. But since that, Tepiso, you have gone on to, basically, win awards. You are one of the Mail and Guardian 200, top 200. Oh, Basam, you must tell me how this thing goes. But it's basically email and gardening acknowledging 200 young South Africans that are making an impact in their community, on their spheres of influence, right? You've also went on to, be, I don't know, my visa, was that a program where you went to America? I've never been to America, so I have to mention that part. Super proud of you, bro. And besides that, we've also kind of embarked on our own kind of brotherly sister journey. You've been on board on my SBR Expos. You're the guy that's helping doing the presentations, making sure everything's looking nice and good. All of that. Okay? Because I need to give people a good picture of everything that's going on.
Sure.
But when in your own way, in your own words, how would you describe Tepiso Malema?
I'm sure what you said is like 10% of what I do.
Right.
So I do a lot, but in a simple way, I always say with you, I'm a student by day and an entrepreneur by night, So I'm a social entrepreneur. I run, but actually just to give a background, Tepiso Malema came Fanakokasi, from Ivory Park. And, Ivory Park is actually known as, a Kasi whereby, it's filled with crime. It's actually one of the top crime hotspots in South Africa. It's the only one in the top 10 that's representing Gauteng. So you can imagine where I'm coming from, and every time when you Google Ivory Park, you just see articles about crime. But, recently when you Google Ivory Park, you see a young man from Ivory Park, Tepiso Malema, doing this and that, and that for me, it's actually being the change that I want to see in, my community. So everything that I'm doing, I'm just striving to see that particular change. So I'm no longer 19, I'm no longer 18, guys. I'm 20 now.
You've grown up.
I'm 20, and yeah, I actually started my entrepreneurial journey from a young age. And it started with just selling. I'm a cool time at the robots, selling ice.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And but then that time it was in entrepreneurship in my mind. I just wanted to get cash for soccer boots. It was just that.
Okay.
Then fast forward when I got to grade 10, I was 15 that time, and I got introduced to this other program called Nkatuto, whereby they were teaching us about entrepreneurship, and how to identify a problem and coming up with a solution in an entrepreneurial manner. And from there, that's where I considered myself an entrepreneur, and my journey just overtaken. So grade 10, that's why I also founded my Gamers Territory.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been an amazing journey for me. Yeah.
It has been. And I think the question that I keep asking myself and keep wondering about you is like, how is this guy doing it? School by day, school demands a lot from you. I can't even imagine myself, when I was in school, having also a business to run. And it's not only one business, Tepiso. You're running Gamers Territory, which I believe you're running from home, right? And we'll talk more about it in a second. But you're running Gamers Territory, and you're also running, I think, a foundation. Is it a foundation? I'm not sure. Tepiso Malema Speaks,
Yes.
which is a completely, another ball game. So I'm just like, how is this guy doing it? Where's your social life? Like, when do you go out to hang out with your buddies? Where do you actually like chill out? Do you have a girlfriend? I'm sure everybody's wondering. I know I am. Like, Skipan, how do you do everything, bruh?
Yeah, I believe it's okay. I don't have a straight answer for that, because sometimes I also wonder, okay, how did I, manage to do this? Especially, with school. I can say, I always say, school is just disturbing my life because
we are past Samara.
yeah,
Okay.
I believe I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best when it comes to school. And one thing that makes me to, handle everything, nicely like I do is that the course that I'm studying, I get to apply whatever that I'm being taught into the business world. I'm actually a student at the University of Pretoria.
Yes.
Always during interviews, I always forget to mention that.
Mention them, yeah, and they probably like, this guy,
So yeah, I'm currently doing my second year at the University of Pretoria. I'm studying information systems, it's also been a tough journey, when it comes to school because. Having to just manage everything, there are a lot of people who are just being stressed by school only. And me, entrepreneurship on its own, it's a very, very, difficult and lonely journey. And here I am doing two things that are, the most difficult in the whole world. But also, I'd like to really acknowledge the people that I have in my circle.
Who's in your circle? Because I never really see you with.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about you acknowledge your mother a lot, and you shout her out. But I've never seen like your siblings or who's in your circle.
Firstly, my mom is in my circle. But also, my friends. I shout out Katle Homoloradi. When it comes to school, they really make sure that they push me. Because there are times whereby, the business side of things is just depressing on its own, and I just don't wanna even attend classes. But they're always there to be like, hey man, like let's go cross night, let's go do this, let's go. And when it comes to girlfriend, let me not touch on that as yet.
Wabana, no, we have to know. Okay, is it a yes or no? Do you have or don't you have?
But I was in a relationship of which it was a really supportive. It played a huge role in the moves that I was making. But yeah, unfortunately, life happens, and but yeah, shout out to her. She was so supportive to my journey, and yeah, she still is somehow. But due to certain reasons, we just had to. part ways. But yeah, I believe I am handling. I do have social life. Yeah, groover, no groover, but
Oh, for real?
yeah.
Oh, you don't show it on social
Yeah.
media? Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, I do, but I enjoy like just going to hiking. My mentor Emmanuel actually he influenced me to start liking gym. So go to gym, just going out and just exploring. And also, the
Yeah.
business that I'm in, it's like entertainment, gamers territory. That's where
Yeah.
I get to have that social life.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So, Ikemas territory. In fact, I don't want to narrate it. I want you to be the one that basically narrates how it started. But basically, you said, Aibo, akunama games ekasi. Abantwana abananix. Obviously, you said you're from Ivory Park, and you're like, okay, let me come up with something that's going to, give the kids entertainment, get them away from the street. How did that come about? Who even gave you, that chutzpah? When we talk about Inumka, like, I'm just like, you had how old were you when you started Gamers Territory?
15.
15.
Yes.
And then how did it come about? What problems were you trying to solve there?
Yeah. So how it actually came about? I used to visit my cousins who used to live, in the suburbs. And I remember first time when I went there, they were playing Xbox, and as in Sekas, I didn't know what an Xbox is. Like it was my first time seeing it. It was so magical. Having to experience, just seeing them playing, and from there, that's when my love for gaming actually came about. And now every holidays, I want to go visit. And for me, that was like, nah, do I have to like always depend on going there to enjoy? So I remember grade 10. Actually, grade 10 it was where my life changed. But I'll give you a background, I think, later on of how the change came about. But I remember with the Nkatuto Edu Propeller program that I told you about, I won a laptop through a program that we were part of for technopreneurship. So I was part of the top 30 technopreneurs in the country. And I got to win a laptop. And the first thing that I did with that laptop was to install a game. I installed, FIFA, GTA there, and I called my friends. Obviously, as in Sekas, I was the only one who had a laptop that time, and everyone is just, coming a kaya and just wanting to play games, and that's why I saw a business opportunity again. It's like, this I can make money out of this. From there, it was just more on just, reinvesting whatever, budgeting, so that I can get more equipment. So it was through that laptop and my mom's old TV screen, those TVs.
The box.
Yeah, the box ones.
Yeah.
I remember we're using that. And from there, I actually partnered with my former business partner, and we started running in a small garage, and everything was cool. And it was, having to see, your ideas having to just flourish, right in front of your eyes. It's just a fulfilling thing in entrepreneurship, I guess.
Yeah.
So and from there, recently, I had to also part ways with my business partner. Hey, I'm always parting ways.
I think I'm trying to wonder who's the problem in these parting ways. Is it you or them?
Yeah. That means maybe I don't take ish.
Okay. Yeah.
But also, for that, it was just for me. It was for me to grow. Because from 2017 running Gamers Territory to like this year, I feel like we should be somewhere, and for me to just take that decision, it was just for me because I wanted to grow, and the other party, we are not, having the same vision of the company, and where we wanted to go. So that's why I decided to do it. For me to grow, it's just, I just have to, be of this collaboration or other partnership. Then now I had to start from like experience. I can say starting from scratch. And after that, it was like I had some kind of depression. I don't want to lie, like, having to, because I'm sure you saw when we launched Gamers Territory, like the painting on the wall, everything. And now every day I have to pass there, and it's no longer,
It's no longer your thing.
Yeah.
Wait, so Gula partnership, you left the partnership, and then because it was like, what happened? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
You had to walk away, Gula Gamers Territory, after having invested, after having this partnership. You had to basically walk away. Okay.
Yeah, and after having to look at the amount of money that I did put in there, it was really hard, because it was so close to my heart.
Yeah.
It still is close to my heart, but I had to actually separate myself from what's toxic.
Is it still called Gamers Territory?
Yeah, on his side it's no longer
Gamers Territory. Okay.
Yeah.
So who owns the I was about to say title deed.
Yeah.
Who owns the name? Who owns?
Yeah, the name
Gamers
is
Territory?
Gamers Territory. It's my company because we were he was running the similar business Ekas,
Okay.
and for me not just to have different same businesses but zinging it, but I was like, let's start this together, let's build something together from what you have and what I have. He had a space, that where we were operating, it's his space, and we had a good relationship as we're starting, but also also me having to understand that he doesn't have like more of an entrepreneurial background. I was like, okay, I'll actually be more of a guide to him and put him on, because I wanted to see him grow also. But that couldn't happen somehow, and the business financially not doing well because it was more like a mouth, hand to mouth business, and still today, and when I tell a lot of people this, they don't believe it. Still today, I don't remember getting any salary from Gamers Territory. It's something that I've been working on, and I still haven't seen something like, okay, this is what Gamers Territory has bought for me, and but still I still keep on building, and the future is just looking so amazing. Currently, we are working on like a gaming tour that will be having this festive season. So it's more like now we getting our feet back on the ground. And from there, we also have an educational game that is coming through. So working with some brilliant minds in building this educational game. So a lot is still coming, especially 2023.
Ooh, 2023. Listen, we are on a runway.
Absolutely.
But Tepiso, your decision not to announce, you didn't announce that. We saw the whole Gamers Territory launch, paintings, and it was amazing. And there were kids there, obviously, on the day of the launch. But then you didn't announce. That decision not to announce, was that
like
to say, "Good guys, I'm no longer involved in this." Is that also like intentional? And why didn't you announce?
So
I'm not feeling. Don't think I'm just saying. Like, we're all wondering because I'm thinking you're still very much in that business.
Like how it actually broke me. It has just for like a whole 3 months having to just I'm still not over it. So I guess also for me I have to just be on. I think it's more like a strategic move also, because we have built this established brand, and then now I announce Uguti, I'm no longer operating there, and after that I'm quiet. So I just wanted to find something on something solid. As we're right now we're building towards something solid. Then from there, that's where a proper announcement. But I feel like this is more like an announcement.
Basically, because we're all getting to kind of know, but we're actually not in that particular space anymore.
And also because I had a chance to announce, because like where that space is. you know, most of the time, like you pass people just drinking alcohol there, you know, and it's a space whereby it's a lot of kids come. And now, obviously, my name will be tainted because that's my company from people's, you know. So, yeah, so it's an announcement.
He's no longer there. If you see people drinking booze around there, honey, it's not. He's not part of it.
Yeah, but I'm actually grateful for, you know, everything that happened, you know, because you know, it actually taught me something, and from whatever that, you know, all the lessons that I believe from where I'm going, you know, where I'm going, I'll actually use them.
Yeah. Now, Tepiso Malema Speaks, a journey to self-discovery. What is that all about?
The Tepiso Malema Speaks initiative, it's started in grade 11. So, yeah, my high school, you know, I was so busy.
Hey, no, it still are, you know, even in your tertiary days. Like, yeah.
So,
okay,
just to give more of like a background. So, my grade 8 and 9, I was so wild, you know. I was one of those kids. I was actually a DJ. I don't know.
For real?
I don't know if you know. For real. I don't know if you show some visuals. I could send you something.
Yeah, just to show your DJing days.
I was actually.
That is wild. For real.
I started I remember grade 8 and 9. I was actually a DJ, and there's a part of mine who used to be like my manager, you know. There was an application called Visual DJ, and
I remember virtual DJ.
Yes.
477 to DJ. You could even have a virtual DJ on your phone.
Yes.
Like you could like speed my text on your phone.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
that time I was, you know, the only young kid DJ and and I remember getting booked to my tavern.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and you know, as I feel like also for me, it's because I saw money from a young age. You know, I got to experience, you know, the lavishness of money from a young age. Because I was like 16, 15 there, you know, getting paid 800. You know, like I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do with this money? And my mom didn't know about that, but that's a story for another day.
Oh God, wait, but sneaker out.
Yeah.
Like, how did your mom not know?
Like, you know, most of the time it was during like festive seasons where I would DJ, you know. And you know, this brother of mine, I won't expose him, you know. My mom would know which I'm going to my brother, you know. So can't you know, I'm getting booked. So yeah, like my grade 8 and 9, I was just so wild. Like from like grade 8 to 9, I didn't pass, so I was progressed to the next grade.
Oh my.
You know,
like condoned.
Yes.
Push.
Yeah, I'm pushing a wheelbarrow to the next grade. You know, even grade 9 to 10, it was that particular kind of situation whereby I was actually pushed. You know, so I wasn't taking my books serious, even myself serious, till you know, grade 9. That's why I lost my dad, and he was the only breadwinner at home at that time. You know, and that's where you know, reality started kicking in. Which, you know what, you don't have anyone to save you, and what are you? What is it that I'm doing to better the situation at home? And that's where, you know, I started now taking my books serious, started participating to entrepreneurship programs like Nkatudo, you know, and that for me, I believe, you know, it had to happen, you know. So as painful as it was losing my dad, I believe it was more like an eye-opener for me to start taking life serious. And yeah, from there, my marks started improving. Grade 11, I became part of the top achievers throughout, like, from grade 11 until like grade 12. You know, then now that grade 11, I was in a space whereby I now have mentors, like people like Mr. Emmanuel Bonoko. You know, I go to these, you know, functions, business runways, you know, business seminars. I'm now in a space whereby I'm more motivated to chase my dreams, right? And always, whenever I get to be with young people who are not driven enough to chase their dreams, who are just demotivated. So the Tepiso Speaks initiative, it was actually, I started it with that particular mindset of changing the people who were just around me. You know, that time it was just my circle. You know, I was doing chila na whiskela. But then, you know, it actually grew so much to a point that now we have like impacted over like 5,000 matriculants throughout Tembisa, and recently we did a partnership with Yona Gatude Propeller. I always mention it.
Yeah.
We did like a partnership, a collaboration whereby we went to the Eastern Cape in a community called Paddy. So now the Tepiso Speaks initiative, in a nutshell, it's we're trying to bridge the gap between high school and life after matric. That transition. Providing career mentorship. Instilling entrepreneurship through our programs like the Scale Entrepreneurship. We also have charity donations, and this coming. So we have like what we call the Christmas lunch for the less privileged, and it has been running for like 2 years, and even now we are going to be doing it again. And if anyone wants to partner with us, I'm actually
holla back.
Yeah.
I need my cut though. I need my connection fee, right?
Yeah. So the Tepiso Speaks initiative, right now also, I have a team of, brilliant, young
Image,
people.
how did you get that team? How do you get that team? It's
Yeah.
difficult enough to start a business because, when you start a business, it's like you, because you have got the vision. It's you that's at the forefront.
Yeah.
It's you that knows what you want to do. Bringing other people on board.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the same vision as you, and
Yes.
also people want to get paid. So how did you get your team, and how are you paying them if you are?
Yeah.
And if you are not, please
Yes.
help me get a team where I can build with,
Yeah.
that I don't have to pay, because everybody's like, honey, we need.
Yeah. So, I believe
Crazy.
also how people, see, because I don't remember having to approach someone and be like, hey, please be in my team,
Okay.
When I started, grade 11, I remember we had our first event at school. I just approached the principal, like, it was COVID era even that time. I was like, I have mentors who can come and motivate learners here. So, just allow me the space and everything. Yeah, so like how I managed to actually put up a team is that when I started, I was just posting what I was doing, on social media. And, just people just fell in love with what I'm doing, and they just eventually wanted to be part of whatever that I was doing, and that time it was just going around schools. Then from there, I actually saw Witty, like, this is so much work for me alone, and then I then started, just putting up a team, because I believe that, you need to build people before, and the people actually eventually build the business, or rather any organization that you actually want to build. So I'm all for people, and from starting all alone to now, having a team of like 13, and from different parts of the country. And they're so passionate with what they're doing. So I believe Tepiso Speaks, it's more like now an avenue where young people can just come and explore their skills, different skill sets. Those who are into marketing, can explore those skills with marketing. Those who are into public speaking. So it's just so amazing just to see the progress that we have done over the past few years.
That is absolutely crazy. But I'm more interested. Okay, so how do they keep? Because are you paying them now, or like, where do you like? Are people just like on social media approaching you? How do they approach you?
Hey Tepiso, I actually want to be part of your team. Like
Oh, for real?
Because of and also like how I appreciate my team. As much as I'm not paying, but I do really appreciate them. And just the form of people seeing, everyone with Tepiso Speaks t-shirts, and we're out there doing the things, impacting lives. I believe also the fulfillment that people get from impacting lives. I think that's what keeps them, are in the program as volunteers without getting paid,
That is
because
absolutely
I
crazy.
believe, and also where we're going, we are going to a space whereby they'll be getting paid because of we've built, a brand that is sustainable, and that will also be attracting a lot of corporate sponsors in, the next coming few months with what we have in store. One of them being the Small Business Runway.
Hey, but that way. But this is going both ways because Tepiso, as much as you are part of my team,
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with the whole team thing. I'm still struggling to find people because from me, I don't know what they see, but Mama Runway, they feel like we've got money,
Nah.
and people are like, I want to get paid.
And I believe also, like, just
How
look at
come?
how, I'm just so grateful to be part of the Small Business Runway without,
Yeah.
expecting any.
You are one in how many?
So.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drive the fact that not a lot of young people are able to see the vision, volunteer, and just pick up your hand and say, I'm here, I will work. A lot of them are very money driven. I'm sorry to say
Yeah,
this. I mean, it's just in
absolutely.
my experience. That's why it's kind of like, you need to tell me how you're doing this because
Yeah.
dog. But I get you though. I get you. If people see the vision, but also people have to have the vision. I believe also to
Absolutely.
be able to see the vision.
Yeah.
Because as much as you try to communicate, good, this is what we're doing. You're putting out certain messages on social media. If people are not getting it,
Yeah.
they'll miss it. They'll just think I just want to make a buck there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
So crazy. Wow. Okay. So we could definitely learn a thing or two from you. But Tepiso, if you're speaking to that young guy, that young girl from Everett Park, the same street that you came from, the same environment that you came from, what would you say to them as a young person about dreaming, about vision, about discipline? If you're able to even touching on mentorship, I know you attribute a lot of your discipline and your drive to mentors.
Yeah.
How did you even get mentors? How should somebody sitting at home who doesn't have access to mentors, doesn't have access to anything, how do they what would you say to them?
Yeah. Firstly, like, as Donna Sekasi, it's okay to dream with a hungry stomach. It really is okay. I remember, like, after my dad passed away, the hardships that we had to face, with like my mom, and her being, now she has to be, both the father and the mother at the same time. And also, I believe I actually learned a lot of, of this hustling from her because she used to sell everything, like from, takeaway and just everything. So, but to young people, just don't let whatever, that's happening around you to actually determine where you're going. I always say, Uti, no matter where you come from, success doesn't need a visa. As Dana say, Ivor Park, Alex, any other council, for me, recently when I was actually in the US, I was just, having this self-introspection, like, how is it possible, for me to be here, without me having to pay anything, just because I started, so just start whatever that you have, that YouTube channel that you want to start, that vlog, that, go to the studio, record that track, just start, starting, you now become 10 times ahead, and as you're starting also, I believe in like personal development. You need to develop yourself, and that's where mentors come in. And sometimes, the mentor conversation, people, think it's really, like you need to go find people. Like recently, there's a picture I posted. I was with Vusi Tembekwayo, and everyone just went wild, And for me, Vusi Tembekwayo, like, mentored me before I even met him, because I was reading his books. I was, listening to, his podcasts, everything on YouTube. So a mentor, you can find a mentor from anything, from a book. That's where personal development comes in. You need to just develop yourself. And as you're going to, I attend a lot of business seminars. And when I see someone who inspires me, I ask them, please be my mentor,
Yeah.
And yeah, so I believe personal development and also social media played a very, very huge role in my life.
Right.
All the opportunities I can say I got them through social media. So, whatever that you post, make sure it's something that is, sure, we can post the jokes. I do post jokes, but
Yeah.
then post something it will actually put you out there.
Yeah.
So show up, and if you have to show off, and
Yeah. Ooh.
the people,
I like
your
that.
people will find you. So
Nice.
it's not about how many likes that you're getting on social media,
Yeah.
but who follows you. So for me, it's actually the quality of the people that follows me, not the quantity.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. And then I said to you the other time, Muti, you know what, we're going far. Whatever reason that God has, brought us into the same path or in each other's paths, there's something that we're going to do, and that's bigger. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there really is something. Do you believe that?
I believe that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Don't betray like you did with this guy. We haven't even touched on that one, but I think we'll leave it to that. But I'm joking,
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today, and I wish you nothing but the best. Where can people find you? Just to plug into what you do, share, like how do they follow you on socials?
Yeah. Everywhere on social media. So on Facebook, it's Tepiso Malema. Instagram at Tepiso Malema _ZA. LinkedIn, Tepiso Malema. I'm big on LinkedIn, actually.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Tepiso Malema. Twitter at Tepiso Malema 2, and also TikTok, Tepiso Malema _ZA. And you told me about opening a YouTube channel. It's coming soon.
Yeah, let's do this.
And also follow our newsletter on our blog for the Tepiso Speaks initiative. It's on tepisomalema.blog.home. Yes.
Okay.
And also follow Gamers Territory. It's Gamers Territory across all social media platforms.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming through, man. There's so much.
Oh,
And I'm excited. So that brings us to the end of the second episode of the Runway podcast. If you've enjoyed this at all, please show us some love on social media. Share it with a friend that you also think can enjoy this type of content. We are at the Runway podcast across all social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere where you can find socials. We're there. Show us some love, and also don't forget to follow Maano Media, who is we're broadcasting live from their studios, and then also follow Opulentia, and that's also our collaboration and partner for this podcast. And I will see you on the flip side. From me to you, it's nothing but love. Cheers.